Welcome back to BlackManProblems. I'm Anthony Brown.
And I am Ciaran Callum.
And today's topic is going to be...
Not being a good enough son to your parents.
Yeah.
A good enough child to your parents?
Yeah.
Offspring?
Not being a good enough child to your parents or offspring. You could be helping out your parents more, basically. Because I've definitely felt like this, little things that, like, you know, I live in London, my hometown is in Birmingham, so I don't really go back as often as I should to see my parents, and it's just because all of my friends, it's selfish reasons, all of my friends have now moved to London as well, and when I go back to Birmingham, it's kind of like, one of my sisters probably won't be there, my dad will be working, like on the weekends sometimes, and my mum might be in, so even if I went back, I just kind of feel like, will anyone really be around? And I just get put off. I just come up with all these stupid reasons why I shouldn't go back. And one day, you never know, your parents aren't going to be here.
Well...
I'm like, what am I doing?
Well, I had a conversation with my parents last time I was in Birmingham. I was in Birmingham. Actually, I went to Birmingham the other day because, as I'm sure many people have realised if you've seen a few of these episodes, I say some quite controversial stuff. And it's controversial stuff that my parents haven't really known about.
Yeah.
And I know that lots of my friends and family will see these episodes. So I decided to go to Birmingham to speak to my parents and just tell them stuff so that they already knew it before it came out through here, and then they heard on some second or third party, via some second or third party person. But the point is, I went and I spoke to them, we had a really good chat, and they really respected my honesty. But one of the things they said to me was that I haven't been a good enough son. They said that I don't help them out enough, and by help out, I mean, partially it's financially, but largely it's just things like calling to say, Mum and Dad, how are you? Things like that. Going home to see them, taking some flowers for my mum, and it hurt me because it was really true.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same. I mean, how often do you go back to Birmingham? Honestly.
I used to go maybe once every 6 weeks to a couple of months. Lately, I haven't really been at all.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. And my mum will like call me, and like I'm so terrible, and like, you know, I really hate myself when I do this. My mum will call, and I'll look at it, and I'll just be like, you know, I haven't got time to talk. And I'm not doing anything. I'm literally not doing anything. I just kind of want to sit back and watch Netflix. And I'm thinking, this is time that I have with my mum that I can talk things out. And I'm not taking the opportunity. You don't know. And it makes me feel terrible. Yeah. I want to change myself. I don't want to be like that anymore at all.
Do you literally like ever think as well, like how many years do you actually have left with them?
Yeah. 100%.
Because if I've got 20 years of my parents left, I'll be surprised. I don't even think I've got that many. Like,
that's a horrible thought when you put it like
but
that.
you have to literally think about it.
Yeah.
Like, there's not that much time to go. And like, I've been, what you just said about getting calls from your parents and ignoring them, I did it as well. It's like, literally...
Like, that's horrible. Like, and I do it, and I admit that it's something that's really bad that I shouldn't do, and I want to change, and I want to come back to Birmingham more and do things for them. I think the number one thing that's on the back of my mind all the time is, you know, I'm at an age now where I feel like I should be helping them out. They've brought me up. You know, you want to be able to help them out and just say, here's a bit of money for this. Don't worry about the house, that's taken care of.
Yeah.
Take a flight to Jamaica. These are things that I have in the back of my mind. And like, I just want to, like, you know, if I'm not going to see them, I want it to be because I'm doing something so important, so important that's going to help them a bit.
Like you're shooting a film or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like something that I know is going to come back for their benefit in the first place. But at the same time, I'm thinking, you don't want to spend all your time working to be able to, you know, provide things for your family, and then, you know, God forbid, something happens to them, and all this hard work you've been putting into, you know, helping your family, you could have been just doing the easiest thing to give them, which is giving them your time.
And the thing they probably want the most.
Yeah, that's probably the thing they want the most. But I keep thinking, I want to work so hard, I'm trying all these different things. It's half the reason why I started, you know, both of us started this channel, because we want to be able to make a success of ourselves and give back to the family and say, look, we've provided here, have this, just relax now, don't, you know, you don't have to think about anything. Because I feel like I'm at an age now where I want to be able to do that.
Well, the only thing I could say is when I spoke to my mum and dad the other day and they said the stuff they said to me, well, I mean, the only thing to do to change is actually change, basically. I've been calling every day. Yeah. Or calling or texting. Literally, if not one, then the other.
Yeah.
Whereas previously, I probably wouldn't call for a month or something like that. Or
Yeah, I
even
do the
more.
same. I think it's the thing I'm going to do straight after this now is actually call.
Start a WhatsApp group as well. I've got a
Oh, yeah,
WhatsApp.
what?
I've got a WhatsApp group for my. We're both from Jamaican families, and Jamaican families are massive, and I do mean massive. So I've got like 20 first cousins on my mum's side as it is.
Yeah.
So my family, which is the Callum family, we have a WhatsApp group that everybody's in. There's like 50, 60 people in that group. But I've also started a WhatsApp group for my actual direct family.
That's what we've got. We've got an immediate. Like, it's funny you've mentioned it because even today, my dad sent a picture of like a wedding of my cousin. And what really like made me feel sad. The picture, I'll show it to you. I'll put it up on the screen. So this is my family. So it's a picture of my mum, my dad, my sister. Well, both my sisters all together. But I couldn't make the wedding for work reasons, whatever it was. Here, and I was like, I should be in that picture. I'm missing out on family. You know what I mean? Family memories. Like from a certain year to recent, it's just gonna be pictures of the family without me in it. Like, where was Anthony? And I like at the moment I'm staying. My cousin, my uncle rents out houses. I'm staying in one of his houses that he's allowing me to. I pay rent, that allow me to stay in. But he will come over every now and then and go, "How come you not visit your mother? You haven't gone to see them for a long time. You're terrible. Always in London and you never come to the wedding." And I'm like, I don't know what to say because it's like, he's right. Do you know what I mean? The family have done so much for me, and I'm like, I need to do something. I need to give back, and basically, I'm going to make a change now. So, calling more.
We're both making
back.
changes.
We're both from Brom. We can go back together. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
actually what I was thinking. I was thinking about a minute ago.
Yeah. We'll come back. We'll see you.
Yeah, because
parents, because it's not right of us, and this is me saying I apologise for
I think a
what I've been.
I think a large part of it is that we kind of been taking them for granted. And I
Oh,
mean,
massively.
when I say, also like just taking their existence for granted as well.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think you don't realise what your parents would have gone through to raise you as a child and all that kind of thing. You just kind of hear and things are provided for you, and
This
that's
is
it.
Also, it's things like as well. So my parents, probably the same as yours, but my parents are basically from like little poor rural Jamaican villages.
Yeah.
And when they came to England with literally nothing, no money whatsoever, not only no money but no education, because they didn't go to university or whatever. They left school at 16 and you get a trade. Well, the point is, my parents are doing well for themselves now. They've got like a few properties and stuff, and not the richest people in the world, but like they've worked hard
to get to that level.
Yeah.
But you don't see the work they put in because you were small and
and all of the sacrifices that they've made for me as well. All of the money they spent raising me, buying me computers, buying me books and whatnot, getting me all of the things I've wanted and that I've asked for, paying for me to go to university when really and truly they could have been spending that on cruises or whatever
just things that are gonna for their own pleasure and enjoyment.
Yeah, it's time they
got
reap the benefits
of us helping them out. So what I'd like to say to everyone out there is make sure you look after your parents and make sure you appreciate them. You don't know how long you're going to have them here for. And when they call up, answer the phone because you never know when you're not going to be able to speak to them again. Because
at some point, this is going to sound morbid, but it's true. It's like everybody you know, at some point you're going to speak to them for the last time and you're not going to realise it's the last time. You'll be like just talking to your best friend. You'll be like, okay, I'm going to watch Spartacus now. All right, cool, see you. And that's actually the last time you're going to speak to them. Yeah. But you don't even realise it will actually happen. Yeah. And you kind of have to be aware of that because being aware of that helps you to make sure you maximise the time you have with people.
Exactly. What would you like? What would your last words? What would you like your last words to be if you could choose them? And when would you have liked to have last spoken to them? Would you like to know that your last words to your closest members of family were like months and months ago on the choices of yourself? Yeah. Or when they were calling you didn't answer. That's a horrible thought. That's
Yeah.
what I think of.
But that happens to loads of people,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
That happens to loads of
And
people.
there's nothing wrong with it, but like you can do something about it. So you know you can feel like you definitely spent a good decent time with your family, because people just work and work and work, and they work to live and live to work. It's like there's better things in life than just working and you know what I mean, making money. You can
Working to
spend
live is
time
one
with
of the
your family.
dumbest things a person can do.
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's really, really silly. Like actually no, hold on. Living to work is one of the living to work is one of the dumbest things that you can do, because unless you friggin' love your job, unless you love it and you think it's amazing, or at least like it to a reasonable degree.
Yeah.
It's like most people don't work jobs like that. They work jobs that basically just pay the bills.
Yeah.
And if your life is just centered around doing something that pisses you off, doesn't satisfy you, actually eats away at your soul every day, and that's your life, and you feel like you're supposed to be doing that because, well, I'm an adult and I'm not supposed to enjoy myself because that's not very, what's the word I'm looking for? That's not very...
Mature?
Responsible.
Responsible.
That's not very responsible. That's like dumb. And then another thing, you get people that also say, oh, I am working all the hours that God sends and I never see my children because I want to provide for them. And it's like, okay, I get that, but on the one hand, your children need to see you, and you're losing out on that. And also, if you're just working, making yourself miserable for your children, then really you're just setting an example so that once they start working, they're just going to make themselves miserable.
Yeah.
So like, nobody's actually living. You don't live because you're doing it for your children, and then they don't live because they're doing it for their children. You need to figure out a way so you can work and live.
Some kind of compromise.
Basically. Alright, so effectively, like, work is important and you need to do it to pay the bills, but for the love of God, if you can find work that you enjoy, do that. If not, then realise that the people around you are far more important than whether or not you get a promotion. And they really are as well, because at the end of the day, if you're at work if you're working overtime because you need money, and while you're working overtime you hear that your dad died in a car accident, you're not going to think to yourself, oh my God, you're not going to think to yourself, I did the right thing and I was working. You're going to hate yourself for actually being at work and not being with your dad. So, don't be that person.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to...
Yeah, so mum, dad, family, I will be coming home soon, and I'll come home more often, and I will definitely be answering all the calls and making calls myself, because I apologise that I haven't been a better son, but I'm going to make sure that I am a better one.
And mum, dad, family, I'm actually coming home this weekend, although by the time he says I should have already come home.
You should already be there. You should be watching this video with him right now.
And
give him a hug.
I'm going to do everything I can to be a huge success so I can pay you guys back for all of the help and the love you showed me. I know you don't want anything back, but you're going to get it anyway.
Yeah, so I think that's something that I would love to do for my family too, and we both are going to work towards to make sure our families are well looked after. So, hello Callum family.
And hello Brand family.
This is BlackManProblems, and we will see you next week.
Ta-da everybody.